You do. Why are you crying? I never want to stop partying. I love this shit. I live for this. No friends. I still got powerhouses coming through. You ain't never been to Taylor food. We about to. Dude, when we start treatment, I mean, with out of spring break and all y'all going to Houston, I'm going to tell y'all what the STD rate has been from 2025 to 2026 in case you decided to go out there and hunt. Okay, syphilis has surged all the way up to 79% in the year 2025 leading into 2026. HIV has surged and increased in 17%. Gonorrhea chlamydia has surged 32%, and the ages are from 15 to 24 years old with that. The demographic is Black people, Hispanics, whites, ranging from the ages 15 to 35. This is demonic, and it's funny, but not in a good... On the Daytona, and you see this bullshit right there. On the Daytona, and you see this bullshit right there, bro. What the fuck is you running from, bro? What are you like? Oh my god. On the Daytona, and you see this. I see a lot of people running. They running to volunteer to go to this war. First of all, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutation to all the brothers and a few sisters out there. On this like foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. As you can clearly see, these people cannot be taken serious. Why do I mean these people? Talking about Jake. Jake is short for saying Israel. All right, Jacob. Yasha Allah. Which are Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. In this particular highlight, you're going to see mostly Negroes, but you're all lumped in one. That's when you had that nurse that made that statement. She said blacks, Latinos, and then she jumped down to white people. And I guess most of the countries in this spring break nonsense, and you could clearly see they have a lot of energy. Now, with the U.S. Marines, I believe they said an amphibious ship with 2,200 Marines from, where is it? Oh, Japan. It was stationed in Japan. They go into the Middle East. They said a couple of days ago, 2,500 Marines. So you do the math, that's 47. And I seen the calculation before, they said like over 10,000. Okay. Maybe with everything coming. I see a lot of volunteers. They sure can run. They sure can run, I say much. All right. All these little ones right here. I think they actually be getting drafted. They like to bust their guns. You know, they come from different parts of the country. This is the best time of, I won't say recruitment, because it takes 2 to 10 when it comes to recruiting. But when you need surplus of bodies, I mean, this is events like this. That's how you grab them. You know, you sprinkle a couple of pork crackers, all over the place. You know, the good old boys, throw them out there. You got yourself a military right there to fight for Israel. Oh, that's the other video. Yeah. 2/3 of the nation of Israel is going to be destroyed. We've been saying these things for all this time. There's about to be a lot of, I can't even say single women, because I see a lot of women here as well, running, running their ass off. You know, they're getting kind of accustomed to that. Now, every generation, I'm not gonna shit on them per se. I am gonna shit on them. I'm not gonna lie, but every generation goes through this. This is like a rite of passage, so to speak. From from the time I grew up, I remember there was a thing called spring break was big. Early '90s, you had Freaknik, all this other stuff. Not for early '90s, but like mid '90s. So it's a tradition in America. All right, I'm getting on Jake, but it's a tradition in America to have spring break. And during spring breaks, usually bad things happen. Now, highlight reel will always be on Negroes, Latinos, but um, they will never show like the crackers and what they do. Right? When the late '90s, going to late '90s, there was a thing called spring break. Girls going wild. All right, because it was just the atmosphere. We live in a society where it's just the fulfillment of um, feasting. Like the scripture says, as a matter of fact, I could combine them. Hang on to that. Ecclesiastes 7 and gotta be a party pooper here, but Ecclesiastes 7 and 2 says, better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting. But that is the end of all men, and the living lay it to heart. So that house of feasting is party. And in society, the God that they praise unbeknownst to them when it comes to these parades, and even the West Indians do it, Bacala, which is Baracus, the Feast of Baracus. So you have a lot of these little feasts that takes place. But the scripture says better to be in the house of mourning than the house of feeding. I mean house of feasting. All right. So it's better to be in a state of loss. All right. A state of seriousness. And the time passed during Paul's time, you had two groups. You had the Epicureans and you had the Epicureans and wow, I can't remember. Give me a second. The followers of the Greek philosopher Epicurus, who taught the highest good is pleasure, defined as the absence of bodily pain and mental anguish, while the modern usage of the equates of Epicureanism with indulging in luxurious food or drink. Originally, Epicurean philosophy advocated for a simple, moderate life, friendship, claim, but originally Epicureans was about pleasure. All right, what was the other group? Let's see. I haven't run over in a while, so forgive me. That's true. If you don't go over a lot of things, if you don't go over things, you will forget. Stoics. So Epicureans and Stoics. Like if you come to serve the Lord, you're gonna be slowly but surely. You're gonna be a Stoic. You're gonna be moved to be a Stoic. All right. the Lord is going to remove certain things around your surroundings and to be in a serious mindset. Okay, now let me go to Acts 17. I just want to go to the definition, but I haven't gone over this in a while. 17, 18, right? So two factional groups. It says, discerning of the philosophers of the Epicureans and of the Stoics encountered him, and some said, what will this blabberer say? After some, he seems to be a setter forth of strange gods, because he preached unto them Yahweh the resurrection. So when you go into, I'm going to go to the definitions. So I read the definition of this the Epicureans. They're more in a party favor. They're more concerned about pleasurable things, which so happens we live in a land that's all it cares about. Right? America's just nothing but a land of pleasure. Okay? This is why the elites wants to remove many things from the people. I was listening to something. Oh, maybe that was um that good professor, which is most likely a CIA operative. I was listening to brother put it up in the chat, but I forgot his guy's name too. Well, he's been bringing out a lot of good stuff, but Richie from Boston was basically saying this guy came out of nowhere, and he's pretty much, you know, part of the problem. Stoic, it says, of the Parkour, pertaining to Stoic philosophers of the authors, which Zeno, just give us the, it's okay. Let me go to the opposites. So if you got Stoic, valued logic, virtue, and self-control. So if a man that's a Stoic, he won't be in that environment. Every time I was growing up, I gotta go back to my past, but growing up in the 90s, it was always like that. You follow the crowd, something happens. You're supposed to run from the crowd. This is why the Lord said not to follow the crowd, right? Because you have to have self-control. When you are Epicureans, you'll be involved in all this shit. It says they were pan-atheists who believe in a world God, a divine spark within all things. They believe in a form of divine providence which differed from the Epicureans' view. So when he was an Epicureans again, followers of the Epicureans who aim for tranquility, painless life, often avoid intense emotions. They were materialists who believed the soul perished with the body. That one life. What's that saying? That one life to live. There is another one. Living my life. Living my best life, right? Because they have the mindset of you only live once. So you gotta do what you gotta do. Well, that's majority of the philosophy of everybody. Everybody out here thinks this route. That's why STDs go about people just lose their fucking mind because they live in a world of pleasure. Alright? Strict Pleasureville. It says which made them skeptical of Paul's resurrection preaching. They believed gods existed but were indifferent to humans' affairs. So a lot of these people live this Epicurean lifestyle. Going back to this real quick. So when it comes down to our people, well, you know what? They live in pleasure. uh, James 2, those are my favorites. James 2 and 23. How canst thou say, I am not polluted, I am not gone after Balaam? See thy way in the valley, know what thou hast done. Thou art swift, diligent, travail in her ways. Now, what did I bring this up for? You know anything about the animal kingdom? A diligent is a female, which it says right here, the NLT version. It says, so you say that that's not true. I haven't worshipped the image of Baal. But how can you say that? Go and look in the valley in the land. Face the awful sins you have done. You are like a restless female camel, despite me searching for her mate. Animals have what? Female animals begin heat for a period of time. So the Lord is saying that Israel is like an animal that's in heat, right? Which is a female camel. Israel is a female camel. It says, you are like a wild donkey sniffing in the wind at mating time. Who can resist her lust? Those who desire her don't need to search, for she goes running to them. So that's our people. So any little event, I don't know, when you're young, of course you're young, full of cum, and girls want it, but we're not in that time. That's the point. We're not in that time. There's a difference between my parents' time, my great parents, or my grandparents didn't do shit like that, but there's a difference. Now is not the time for no party and bullshit, because we in some serious times. So that's why I made my statement. Those are great volunteers for the war to come. Ecclesiastes 3 and 1, it says, to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Alright? Just jump down. 7, it says a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. We're in World War III. Where the fuck you guys going? So you could clearly see they're going against the grain. They're going against the fashion. All right. Jake loves style, right? They love style. They love to what's the word I'm looking for? They look trendy. You know, they like to be with the Jones, fitting with the Joneses and shit like that. Well, I mean, if you were in the mindset of you go to spring break and I'm gonna go out there and have a good time at the time of fucking war, a war to end all sorts of wars, then guess what? You you're gonna be destroyed. All right. There's no seriousness with Jake. All right, we had some serious fucking time. A lot of you young whippersnappers that gone, that done. I'm not sad about it. I don't feel nothing about it. There's a way the Lord knows to do. It says 2 Timothy 3 and 2, 3 and 1. This knowing also that in the in the last days, perilous time shall come. When you go to the world, it says right here, NLT said, give the definition, don't do this. It says, you should know this, Timothy, in the last days there shall be very difficult times. We have some difficult times right now. It's not the time to go out there and have a good time. We need some stress. You know how everybody's all messed up when the pandemic took place, and 6 years ago, 6, 7 years ago. as soon as they allow these animals to get a taste of freedom, instead of these people to really change their ways, they lost it. They fucking lost it. So these people don't know what time they're in. And we've been saying this for forever. We've been saying all this for a long time. You Israelites out there, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, y'all done for. Y'all really don't know what's going on. Alright? That's why the scripture says, Isaiah 42 and 20. Now, I started 18. Hear ye deaf, and look ye blind, that ye may see. Who is blind but my servant, or deaf as my messenger that I sent? Who is blind as he that is perfect, and blind as the Lord's servant? So, despite those people that was running, they're not into the scriptures. We are the Lord's chosen people. We're the nation of Israel. All right, we're supposed to be knowing exactly what's going on, being prepared. Oh, I should have got it. I might get it. Joel, the second chapter tells you and gives you a clue. Okay, it literally gives you a clue what mindset you should be in. But you people have a fucking clue what's going on. The Lord said, "Y'all blind." It says, "Seeing many things, but thou observe not. Opening the ears, but thou heareth not." The Lord is well pleased with his righteousness, and he will magnify the law and make it honorable. This is a people who have been spoiled. They're all of them snared in holes. They are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none save restore. And that's the history. That's Israel's history. Right? And they will drink, they'll smoke, they'll do whatever it takes not to relive anything. Like today, in my building, sometimes these niggas they just come out of the fucking blue and start smoking in the building, like in between the building. Like, yo, y'all could smoke here in New York, you could smoke. You could smoke outside. The niggas don't, niggas don't, like, you know what's wrong with these motherfuckers, but it's irritating, right? It's irritating. No matter what you say to these people, it's like, they don't want to listen. They're hard-headed. They're stiff-necked. So, hey, let the Lord send their asses to fucking go to that war. Go fight for the country that you want to enjoy, your Daytonas and your spring breaks and so forth. I don't give two shits about you. You break the law, you're going to send your ass to prison. And the majority of that generation of children, they don't even give a fuck. They're going to in and out of jail in a heartbeat. Right? They make a career in that. They start young. And it says, who among you will give ear to this? The prophets. Who will hearken and hear to the time to come? The prophets. Who gave Jacob for a spoil in Israel to the robbers? Is not the Lord? He against whom we have sinned? For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient to his laws. So it gives you not the excuse, but gives you the reasoning behind everything. Alright? It says, therefore he poured upon him, all Israel, the fury of his anger and the strength of battle. We have set him on fire round about, yet he knew not, and burned him, yet yet he laid it not to heart. So we don't know what the hell's going on. All right, here it is. The enemy, Esau, is mounting up against you. And you is put your guard down. That's why I believe it was after a lot of these motherfuckers have their little spring break after the pandemic. Florida, because it was going crazy in Florida, Miami, they passed a whole bunch of laws. They were about to do the same thing in Houston. Well, you people are not allowed. Right? Wherever you go crazy. And all you're doing is showing us why the Lord's going to destroy you. And we fall back and like, hey, you got to get what you deserve. You have no clue what the enemy Esau has died for you. So like, what he's going to do to you, how bad do you want to? And a lot of you great parents and your little knucklehead ass kid is about to go to war. They're about to draft all these motherfuckers. Alright? They're about to draft you. And once you go in that land, you ain't coming back. This is a one-way trip. If you do come back, you might come back in a body bag. Alright? Unless, I don't know, you use a limb, Lord have mercy. But a lot of the Lord's chosen people they're about to be taken out. Alright? And that's just the way it is. And your attitude right now should have been this. I'm sorry for jumping. Joel, I'm sorry, it's 2 of them. So blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble. For the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. So when we are in the highways and byways, y'all supposed to be trembling. But y'all do the complete opposite. Y'all talk shit. Alright? You advocate. Let me tell you, start feeling a little saddened for those people. They amaze you by being disrespectful and saying crazy shit that comes completely against you. Alright? But they should be trembling. They should be in great fear. The day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness as the morning spread upon the mountains. A great people, a strong, and a strong. They have not been ever like. It's not talking about an actual army in the earth. It's not talking about the Iranian army, the Chinese army, the Russian army. You're not talking about that. It's talking about those missiles, those warheads. It's not going to be an event like this ever again. And with the intensity of this war, you can clearly see Iran has every right to defend itself from the powers that be. I mean, let's be realistic here. So they're going to get the arms and they're going to join the battle to make wars to protect themselves. So we in World War III. And you people before we was to this point, y'all should have been in fear and trembling. Right now, y'all should be in fear and trembling. But no, they'd rather go out there and party. Oh, TSA ain't getting paid. A lot of them are calling out. They said that traveling is going to be less. They said only like the high value areas that they might allow it because they're working for free right now and they're doing a lot of sick calls which they can't do nothing about it. And ticket prices is going to go up because of what? The oil, the gas. Okay, so people are in great travel. And with this ability to travel, everybody's gonna be more in lockdown. So we in some serious, serious times. It says there have not been ever like so those missiles. There's never gonna be something like this ever again. It says neither shall there be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. A fire devoured before them, and behind them a flame. There's missiles coming up out of those silos. When it ignites, what does it do? The fire goes to the top, right? And when it launches, what's that? The smoke. It says, and here's the point: the land is as the Garden of Eden. All right, what is it? Eden considered paradise, joy, happiness. So before those missiles come, the people is gonna have joy, happiness, like the scripture says. As in a matter of fact, because I could drop, bro. I'm gonna drop it right away. Matthew 24, 35, 6. It is 37. But as in the days of Noah, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking and marrying and giving into marriage. So marrying, when some two people get married, that's a celebration. So people don't even get married and celebrate no more. I mean, they celebrate just to celebrate. The club scene is dead, so that the spirit of mirth is dead, right? And it's more expensive. Actually, it's more expensive to die than to have a marriage, which is weird. But overall, it's a sensibility of normalcy, what you call normalcy bodies. So, we're comparing what's about to happen in the near future to what? The time of Noah. And this again says, until the day that Noah entered into the ark. So it was paradise. It was having a blast. Right? And knew not until the flood came, it took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. So the stage is set. Okay? You still have a rebellious as people. Lost people as rebelling like a mother. And they're going to be judged because of that. Going back to Joel, it says 23, it says the fire devoured before them, and behind them the flaming burning. The land is at Eden, it's at the Garden of Eden before them. Like I was watching what movie I was watching? I was watching this movie called Under the Silver Under the Silver Lake or something like that. It was recommended by like Truth Is. It basically showing you about California and how Hollywood and all the secrets in Hollywood and all the things that's going on over there. And it's just a pleasure. It's just a pleasure, though. And the Masonic orders, or the Masonic, whatchamacallit, surrounding of the area, and what boosts up in Cali and these warm, all America is just lives and pleasures. So it gives you an idea what we're dealing with. The CIA owns Hollywood. They bought Disney, so they can push this narrative just out there. That's all eating. That's all pleasure. That's why music, everything, all pleasurable things. So before those missiles come, it's going to be like eating. It says, and behind them a desolate wilderness. missiles hit, America's done. It's through. It's over. Yeah, and nothing shall escape them. The only people that are going to be escaping is the elect. Those that was in the house of mourning, not in the house of feasting. Okay? Because what was the main thing the scripture said? It said tremble. It is what you hear this, you must be trembling. You jump down. This whole chapter is bad. I just want to get to the point. 20, 15. It says, blow the trumpet in Zion, sanctify it fast, call it a solemn assembly. So what is that? A solemn assembly is something serious. Fasting and serious is nothing to be celebrated. You're afflicting your soul. You're, you're detaching yourself from the pleasurable things of life. Right? You're afflicting your soul. It says, gather the people, sanctify the congregation, assemble the elders, gather the children and those that suck the breast. Let the bridegroom go forth of his chamber, and the bride out of her closet. Let the priests and the ministers, let the priests, the ministers of the Lord weep between the porch and the altar, and let them say, spare thou people, O Lord, give not thy inheritance, give not thy heritage to reproach, that the heathen should rule over them. So the message is clear, and the seriousness is behind it. It's not a thing of, oh well, the world's about to end, I might as well just go all out. Like this song, this Mace song, Mace, Rocks, DMX, what was it? And I think like Rob was in it too. 24 hours to live, right? So they had, they telling in a 24-hour period what they would do. And it sounds, pleasurable and all that, but there's nothing serious. They just, what they would do for, if you had 24 hours to live, you gotta fight for the Lord. Because, but the way people think, they believe they live only once. So you could clearly see the difference between how you're supposed to be in these times and how not to be. And like I stated, all those people volunteered to run to the recruitment station because they ain't coming back. They're not coming back. Right? That's a lot of energy. They don't look like they'll have no sicknesses. Sounds like a lot of healthy young individuals that should be fighting for the Israel. The Israelis and get slaughtered. But that was the point. 2/3 of the nation Israel. You know what? Yeah, no, man. That's a phenomenon. Zechariah. Zechariah 13:8. It says, it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts of it shall be cut off and die. And you can clearly see why. Clearly see why. Alright. But the third shall be left therein. Third is whom? The elect. So that being said, shalom to the elect of the nation. Shalom.